President Trump just said on stage, everyone expected the usual political speech, but what happened next left thousands cheering, stunned, and sharing it online. This one moment broke all expectations, and it's going viral right now. President Trump took a moment before speaking, scanning the crowd with his signature confidence. Then, in a tone that was both serious and teasing, he said something that nobody expected. It wasn't a policy announcement. It wasn't an attack on opponents. It wasn't a promise of future action. It was something entirely different, something that seemed to step outside the usual political script. The audience's reaction was immediate and electric. They didn't just clap politely or nod in approval. They went wild. Phones appeared in every direction, capturing the moment from every angle. Cameras flashed, hands waved, and cheers echoed throughout the arena. Social media exploded instantly. Clips of President Trump's unexpected statement were shared across platforms, trending within minutes. Comments flooded in, with viewers expressing disbelief, excitement, and even laughter. Memes and reactions quickly began to spread online, capturing the raw, unfiltered energy of the crowd. For a few unforgettable moments, President Trump had managed to break through the predictable patterns of political speeches. The usual division, criticism, and debate were replaced by a shared sense of surprise and exhilaration. People in the audience were talking to each other, reacting spontaneously, and reliving the moment together. Even journalists covering the rally admitted they had never seen a reaction quite like this. In that instant, it became clear that this speech was different. President Trump had created a moment that transcended typical politics, a moment that was as much about human connection and shared excitement as it was about any political message. The arena buzzed with energy long after his words, as people replayed the moment in their minds and on their phones, knowing they had witnessed something truly unexpected. The rally took place in Houston, a city known for its passionate and enthusiastic political crowds. Thousands of people had gathered, filling the arena to capacity. The atmosphere was electric, buzzing with energy that could be felt in every corner of the venue. Flags waved, signs were held high, and chants of President Trump's name echoed like thunder. It was the kind of crowd that every political figure dreams of addressing, one that reacts, engages, and feeds off every word spoken from the stage. But the excitement in the arena was more than just the roar of the crowd. It was also the tension in the air. Reporters covering the event noted that President Trump had been hinting at a big announcement in the days leading up to the rally, though no one had a clear idea of what it might be. Social media was buzzing with speculation. Supporters wondered if he might be announcing a new campaign or unveiling a bold policy plan. Skeptics questioned whether it was a political stunt, while others even suggested it could be something personal, a revelation that could change the narrative entirely. As the minutes ticked by, anticipation only grew. Every cheer, every clap, every chant seemed to rise in volume as people waited for the moment they had come to witness. Then President Trump finally walked onto the stage. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. The crowd erupted into deafening cheers, waving signs and raising their voices to match the energy in the arena. Cameras flashed, capturing every reaction. Families hugging in excitement, longtime supporters jumping in joy, and even a few skeptics watching with wide-eyed curiosity. The scene was almost cinematic. News crews panned across the audience, capturing the anticipation in every face. Some people held their phones high, ready to record history. Others leaned forward in their seats, eyes locked on the stage, sensing that something extraordinary was about to happen. Every moment felt stretched with suspense, as if time itself was waiting for the president to speak. And then, in a moment that would be replayed on news channels and social media for weeks, President Trump spoke the words that no one expected. The arena erupted again, this time in a mix of surprise, excitement, and disbelief. It was a reaction unlike anything the crowd or the world had anticipated. A moment that perfectly captured the unpredictability and magnetism of President Trump on stage. So, what did President Trump actually say that had the entire arena and the internet buzzing? With his signature slight grin and a glint of mischief in his eyes, he leaned into the microphone and said something completely unexpected. "I've been thinking, Maybe it's time we all just focus on winning together, not arguing all the time. For a political figure famously known for his fiery statements, sharp critiques, and no-holds-barred rhetoric, these words were like a shockwave. The audience froze for a split second, unsure if they had heard it correctly. Supporters blinked in surprise, trying to process what they had just heard. Even the most die-hard fans seemed momentarily speechless. Then, almost simultaneously, the room erupted. Cheers exploded like a wave crashing over the crowd. People clapped, waved, and shouted in excitement. Some laughed in disbelief, others nodded with genuine agreement, and a few even hugged nearby strangers, sharing the unspoken thrill of witnessing something completely out of the ordinary. As expected in today's world, social media instantly lit up. Clips of the moment were uploaded and shared thousands of times within minutes. Comments poured in from all corners. Did he just... I didn't see that coming. Finally, something we can all get behind. Analysts quickly weighed in, describing it as a rare human moment from a man often defined by his strong opinions and bold declarations. Political commentators marveled at the simple yet powerful effect of the words, something that transcended party lines, at least in that brief, electrifying moment. In that short exchange, President Trump achieved something that is almost unheard of in modern politics. Without attacking anyone, without making a controversial jab or inflammatory statement, he managed to unify the room. For just a few minutes, the usual tension, division, and partisanship melted away, replaced by a shared sense of connection and excitement. The audience's reaction showed that sometimes, even in politics, words of unity and encouragement can have a profound impact. It was one of those rare moments that people would replay, discuss, and share for days. Everyone watching, whether in the arena or on social media, had the same thought. This wasn't just another speech. This was a moment that reminded everyone of the power of surprise, the thrill of unpredictability, and the impact of a leader connecting with people in a human way. The audience reaction to President Trump's unexpected statement was immediate, intense, and utterly overwhelming. The energy in the arena surged as people processed what they had just heard. Some supporters raised their hands high in amazement, shouting, "Yes!" and "Finally." Others turned to their neighbors and hugged them, as if sharing the experience of witnessing a historic moment together. Even those who came as skeptics couldn't hide their surprise, their eyes widening as they took in the scene unfolding before them. Journalists covering the rally were equally struck. One reporter commented, "You could feel a shift in the room. For the first time in a long time, people were reacting to Trump not as a political figure, but as a person speaking directly to them." It was a rare moment when the political facade seemed to drop, allowing the audience to connect with the man behind the presidency. Every cheer, every shout, and every applause reflected more than support. It reflected genuine surprise and emotional engagement. Meanwhile, the moment instantly spilled over into social media. Clips of President Trump's words were shared thousands of times on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook within minutes. Memes quickly appeared, some humorous, some celebratory, all highlighting the sheer unpredictability of the moment. Fans called it, "the moment Trump surprised the world," a phrase that rapidly trended as millions tuned in to watch and discuss the clip. Critics, on the other hand, debated fiercely. Was this a genuine expression, or a carefully calculated strategy to dominate headlines? Regardless of opinion, no one could deny that the moment captured attention and dominated conversation. It wasn't just a speech, it had become a viral phenomenon. In a world where political statements are often predictable, rehearsed, and meticulously calculated, this unscripted and surprising moment reminded everyone that even the most seasoned politicians can still shock, excite, and connect with audiences in unexpected ways. The unpredictability of the moment, the spontaneity of President Trump's words, and the raw reactions of the crowd all contributed to a sense of shared experience, one that viewers both at the rally and online would remember for a long time. This event demonstrated the power of human connection in politics. For a few short minutes, the usual divisions and debates fell away, leaving a simple, unforgettable truth. Sometimes, all it takes is one unexpected statement to unite people in amazement, conversation, and even joy. So, why does this moment matter? It matters because it highlights the incredible power of surprise in modern politics. In today's world, where political speeches are often scripted down to the last word and audiences have grown accustomed to predictable narratives, a single unexpected comment can immediately capture attention. One sentence, said at the right moment, can dominate headlines, flood social media feeds, and fuel conversations for days or even weeks. President Trump's statement at the Houston rally was a perfect example of this phenomenon, showing that even a well-known political figure can still break through the noise and make a lasting impact. For President Trump, this moment was more than just the applause and cheers from supporters. It was a reminder that political leaders can connect with audiences in ways that go beyond partisan lines, polling numbers, or policy debates. By saying something unexpectedly unifying, he created a shared experience that resonated deeply with people in the arena and millions watching online. In a time when politics often feels divisive, this small but significant gesture demonstrated the power of authenticity and timing. For viewers, the moment was thrilling. It was proof that politics doesn't have to be entirely predictable or formulaic. One simple sentence, delivered at just the right moment, could spark excitement, provoke conversation, and even bring people together. Supporters left the arena buzzing, replaying the moment on their phones and sharing clips with friends and family. Conversations erupted online, with people dissecting every nuance of the statement and debating its meaning, significance, and potential long-term impact. Analysts quickly jumped in to examine the implications. They discussed how this moment could affect social media engagement, shift public perception, or even influence campaign dynamics moving forward. Some emphasized the strategic value of unpredictability in politics, while others noted the rare human connection that can emerge when a leader steps outside the expected script. By the end of the evening, it was clear that this unexpected statement had become the story of the day. Whether one supported President Trump or not, audiences everywhere were left reacting with the same sentiment. "I didn't see that coming." It was a reminder that in politics, as in life, the unexpected has the power to capture attention, inspire conversation, and create moments that people remember long after the speeches end.